I'm Becky Biddle, and I'm a session elder serving on the finance team here at Westminster Presbyterian Church. 2020 has been quite the year, hasn't it? It seems that every challenge begets 3 more. However, uncertain times can prompt us as Christians to seek assurance of and to remember God's faithfulness and promises. We can be confident that He is as present now as He has ever been, and that He is with us as we navigate this tumultuous path. The finance team will be conducting our church's annual pledge drive beginning on October 19th, 2020, with a dedication service on November 22nd. Even as we encounter difficult times, God gives us so much: our wealth, our time, and our talents. Although we may not be having our traditional Thanksgiving in 2020, this is still a time that calls us to acknowledge the richness of our blessings, even today, and how we are called to express gratitude for our abundance.
What is your favorite or most fulfilling program, initiative, or task that your team undertakes?
For me, it's going to be the kids, of course. I love the kids. I think kids are so important for our future, of our church, of our society. That's just what does it for me.
I think I'm going to have to pick task, and it's probably the one we're on right now, which is the pledge drive, which leads to the budget, which leads to everything happening the following year.
That's a hard one. I think that's like asking a parent who's their favorite child. If I had to pick one, it would probably be Christian Community Assistance, because it's one that we have held near and dear to our hearts for many years.
How would you like to expand your team's ministry next year?
My expansion would be, I'm hoping I can get some people interested in the grounds aspect of building and grounds. If you got 30 minutes, you drop by here, you can make a big difference on the curb appeal, so to speak, of the church. And I think that's very important.
I think the biggest thing that we could do as a church, as a congregation next year for personnel is to help add more people to the committee so that they could act potentially as mentors, but certainly as support individuals.
I would like to find a way to not only continue what we've been doing as a church, but also to reach out to others. And we've been doing that with our online church that we have right now, to continue doing that, to enhance it, to make that a better product, but also find ways to attract new members into our church and providing different ways of doing that.
Why have you chosen to serve on this team?
I didn't choose, God chose. So I always, I've been on session several times now, and I always just leave it to the session to appoint me where they think I would fit.
Because education is the key to everything.
I really wanted to see the focus of finance being on the ministry of the church.
I chose to serve on the Tech Arts team because I saw it as an opportunity to learn, and I also saw it as an opportunity to better myself in my faith and in the actual church itself.
That's one of those things that the more you give, the more you get. It fulfills a need that I have to give back, so that one to me is a natural.
I've chosen to serve on the tech services team because it's necessary. Our ministry, our message is designed to be spread throughout the whole world.
Because of the experience I have in the professional world, and I also view myself as a servant leader.
The thing I like most about it, we can focus on our congregation as family and really try and take care of each other.
It's a pretty lot going on with worship. A lot of moving parts to it.
What would you like the congregation to know about this team?
That education is what helps us continue to grow. When we stop our education, then we stop growing and we start losing our contact with God.
We couldn't do without the treasurer.
I would mainly want them to know we appreciate everything that they do to support us.
The personnel team is one of those groups that kind of functions behind the scenes. It doesn't get a whole lot of press, not a whole lot of notoriety, but it's critically important.
It's key to how we go back and be with each other, but also help us to worship God.
What encouragement would you give to those who are prayerfully considering their pledge?
It takes money to run things, and I just hope that everybody will think about those things when you're prayerfully considering your pledges this year.
When you're considering your contribution or your input to this church, think of the people who are committed to this church and have committed their families to this church. And you talk about commitment. That's commitment. I'm just writing a check.
Bottom line is we are a family.
1 Samuel 12:24 says, "Be sure to fear the Lord and serve him faithfully with all your heart. Consider what great things he has done for you." We ask that you follow God's leadership as you consider your part in Westminster's vision of serving and sharing Christ. As you review and ask God's leadership regarding your contributions of resources, time, experience, and expertise to the vitality of our congregation, you may find he leads you to increase your giving, pledging, and participation during this time of sharing. Thank you for supporting Westminster and for being a part of our wonderful family of God.